What's good, my fellow soldiers? And in today's video, we are going to be looking over some Civil War artifacts. So let's get it. Alright, the first one that we have today is the original Civil War bullets of the Union and the Confederates. Now, as a history buff that knows a lot about history, that's what a history buff is in case you didn't know, I will give you some background knowledge on these bullets. The Union Mini Ball, the standard ammunition of the Union infantry. The French army officer Claude Etienne Mini invented the bullet that would bear his name in 1849. The Mini bullet, a cylindrical bullet with a hollow base expanded when fired, proved lethally accurate over relatively long distances and was soon used after the outbreak of the American Civil War in 1861. Now let's go over to the Confederates. The standard ammunition of the Confederate infantry, invented by Frederick J. Gardner of New Bern, North Carolina, who was issued Confederate patient number 12 on August 17, 1862, for the projectile with a thick bottom ring paired with another thin raised ring and two grooves. Alright, now we got a big one over here. The second day of the Battle of Gettysburg was the single most bloodiest day of that battle. Throughout that day, fighting at numerous locations around the battlefield involved 100,000 combat ants, 20,000 of whom would end their day either killed, wounded, captured, or missing, making July 2nd of 1863 a truly dire day of our nation. And centered amidst of the near constant ebb and flow of the ongoing carnage was a small patch of land, 19 acres of wheat owned by local farmer George Rose, that history would come to know as the wheat field. Throughout the afternoon of July 2nd, an extended series of charges and countercharges left this field and nearby woods dotted with the bodies of over 4,000 dead and wounded soldiers from both sides. The thousands of troops who fought in this area that day would later compare to the action there to a whirlpool of advancing and retreating bands of men that streamed over the landscape and flowed like water across the trampled wheat, an area that changed hands 6 times in one afternoon. The woods that border the field were not as dense in 1863 as they are today, but they provide some cover for the Confederates as they maneuvered around the Union positions here. Alright, now that we got the artifacts out of the way, now let me show you some of the other things that I got while I was in Pennsylvania. Now here's the collection that I got in Pennsylvania. I got The Truth is Sometimes Stranger Than Fiction, the Kennedy and Lincoln Coincidence. Then I have the Battle of Gettysburg map, a presidential ruler, Lancaster history pin, and an American flag with a bald eagle pin. And now I shall explain the stories on what these are about. Abraham Lincoln, the 16th president of the United States, was president during the Civil War, which was a war to end all slavery. Lincoln took office after James Buchanan left office in 1860. Lincoln was president during the Civil War, which was a war to end all slavery. Lincoln was an abolitionist and didn't like slavery, so then he made the Emancipation Proclamation to end all slavery. And then he got assassinated on April 15th, 1865, by a man named John Wilkes Booth. 35th President John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Kennedy was president after Dwight D. Eisenhower left office, and he was the first ever president that was televised on live TV for one of the presidential debates. And because of that, he won the debate. Kennedy was president during the Cuban Missile Crisis and the Civil Rights Movement. And then Kennedy later got shot on November 22nd, 1963, while in Dallas, Texas, moving through a motorcade route, and then later died at the hospital. And now what this is about the eerie coincidences of Lincoln and Kennedy. Lincoln was elected in 1860. Kennedy was elected in 1960. Lincoln's secretary was named Kennedy. Kennedy's secretary was named Lincoln. Lincoln lost his son while serving as president. Kennedy lost his son while serving as president. Lincoln was a second child. Kennedy was a second child. Lincoln was elected in the term which he was assassinated on November 8th. Kennedy was elected into the term which he was assassinated on November 8th. Lincoln had a vice president named Johnson who succeeded him as president. Kennedy had a president named Johnson who succeeded him as president. Lincoln's assassin John Wilkes Booth was born in 1839. Kennedy's assassin Lee Harvey Oswald was born in 1939. Booth shot Lincoln in a theater and escaped to a warehouse. Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and escaped to a theater. Lincoln's assassin was killed before being brought to trial. Kennedy's assassin was killed before being brought to trial. So, yeah, a lot of eerie coincidences with that one. Now, this one is kind of hard to describe, but this is basically the Battle of Gettysburg reenactment map. feel free to look over this map. And here are a few videos from that reenactment.
Yeah. It was just right now to get some photos.
All right, now we have 3 more things to do. Here is a presidential ruler with all 46 presidents of the United States. And I got these 2 at the same place. I got this Lancaster history from the gift shop, and also got this one from the gift shop too. Now, why did we go to Lancaster? Let me explain. So we were over there to visit James Buchanan's house, which is the 15th president of the United States, as I said, before Lincoln returned into office during the Civil War. Because Buchanan, his policies weren't that good. Some dub him as one of the worst presidents of the United States. And I do believe that. I really do. Because Buchanan was just, once again, a horrible person to be elected into office, and they claim that he was the last one to be elected too. And why was the reason that I got this cool American flag pin? It's because I'm very patriotic and I love our country. And so with that, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe. Share this video with your friends who likes history. And as always, stay happy and have fun.